What if the most powerful edge in financial advisory isn't a better pitch? It's better information about the human being on the other side of the table. ArcheMatch has built the first true financial advisor operating system. One platform, two engines, RainMaker and Ask Archie. And we built it to solve two of the most intractable problems in financial services. Problem one, cold outreach. At best, it gets a 3% response rate. That's unacceptable. And it's one of the reasons most advisors wash out in their first 3 years. Problem two, coaching. When a challenging situation arises, you need guidance at that exact moment, not next quarter, and not at a price that makes you wince. And behind both of those sits a bigger storm. 40% of advisors will retire in the next 5 to 10 years. The advisors inheriting those books, for the most part, never learned to prospect. The book was already built. Without those skills, attrition does its quiet work. Clients pass on, the book shrinks, and with asset-based pricing, revenue shrinks right along with it. There are hundreds of tools in wealth tech, CRMs, calendars, portfolio analytics, financial planning calculators, to name just a few. But look closely, and almost all of them share the same blind spot. They only go to work after you've won the client. They administer the relationship. They don't create it. The suite of lead gen tools may point you to a prospect that has assets or a recent wealth event, but it is still a cold outreach. But they ignore the hard part, identifying the right prospective client that aligns with who you are as a person. That's the gap ArcheMatch was built to close, not one more after the sale tool, an operating system for identifying, winning, and keeping the client. So let's look at RainMaker, the first engine of the platform. Everything starts with a 13-question assessment that identifies your archetype, who you are, how you connect, and the kind of clients who share your most important traits. I come up as an explorer with lover as my secondary. My full profile tells me how I show up, why clients choose me, and what to watch out for. Frankly, some of this I didn't know about myself. Then RainMaker goes deeper. Drop in your LinkedIn profile and your firm, and it builds your complete professional picture. Career history, areas of expertise, client approach. This is the tab that decides whether RainMaker sounds like you or sounds like a robot. Now, the part every advisor cares about, finding new clients. This is Hunter, for when you don't yet know who you're going after. Pick the trait characteristics you want in a client, and RainMaker shows you the professions that correlate. Then goes out and finds real names, each one rated by how strongly they align with you. Here's Tom, Chief Executive Board Member right nearby in Denver. One click enriches his profile. Another click runs alignment research. RainMaker digs through every piece of public information it can find on him and on me and builds a genuine dossier, core character traits, mindset, values, and worldview. And then research becomes outreach. RainMaker drafts personalized messages that connect who I am to who Tom is. A connection request, a longer email, whatever the moment calls for. Don't like the tone? Make it casual and regenerate. This is where cold outreach goes from 3% to north of 25. Already know who you're after? That's gatherer. Add one name, add several, or import a whole list, everything. Lands in one prospect pipeline you can sort and work. But here's what I recommend most, especially for established advisors, best clients. Enter up to 5 clients you wish you could clone, the ones who know you and love you. Open their LinkedIn connections and pick the people you'd like to meet. RainMaker then generates a permission-based introduction. First, a note to your client. May I mention we know each other? Then, with her blessing, your outreach to the prospect with a trusted name attached. Odds are, he responds. Remember, a suspect is just a name. A prospect is someone you've identified has money, and you have a methodology to contact them. That's the doorstep RainMaker puts you on. Now for the second engine, Ask Archie. Archie is 40 years of everything I've learned and everything I've taught. Full video courses, hundreds of real coaching calls with real advisors, all of it distilled into frameworks you can question. any hour of the day. It knows your archetype. It knows where you are in your career, and it answers accordingly. So let's try to stump it. My client is the beneficiary of a trust, and there's a dispute. Watch what happens. Archie doesn't fake it. This one's outside my lane, it says. Trust law belongs to an estate attorney. But then it coaches the moment. You're not the legal expert. You're the person who picks up the phone when things go sideways. The advisor who says, I don't handle that, but I know exactly who does. Let me connect you today, is worth 10 times the one who pretends. Make the referral call yourself. That's what she'll remember. That's not a chatbot. That's a 40-year veteran sitting next to you on demand. RainMaker finds the right people and tells you how to reach them. Ask Archie makes you better every single day. Together, they're a complete operating system for the financial advisor.